All right, we're live. Let me zoom in a little bit so I can see what's going on there. Perfect. Okay. And one more time. Yeah. Okay, good. Sweet. Hey, what's up, everyone? How's it going? Welcome to, what is this? This is day 5, I think, of quarantine. Technically day 6 of quarantine cooking, because we had a little beta test, kind of our pilot episode on Sunday. So then we had Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yeah, so we'll call this day 5. That was the pre-show on Sunday. We're still here. We are still here. We're still alive. We're going to keep doing this thing until we're all out of quarantine, or until I don't want to anymore. But I don't think that's going to happen. Let's see, where else? What's been going on in the news? New York, California, officially on pretty much locked down. Both governors said don't leave the house in case, unless you just need to get stuff done, like grocery shopping. Thankfully, that's what I do, and walking the dog, which is also my job. So that's my 2 excuses to get out of the house. Pretty exciting. They did say no, basically you can't work unless you're an essential. You can't work in your office unless you're an essential service. So mrpinkshirtguy here himself had to cancel his haircut on Saturday. So pretty bummed about that. My wife is about 2 weeks away from knowing my real hair color. So hopefully she'll still love me. What else we got going on today? We're under quarantine, day 5. It's all good. Yeah, we're having fun. Let's have a cocktail, shall we? I want to make sure everybody can see because it's getting dark. Oh yeah, we're good. Today's cocktail is called a jasmine. With me so far? I was introduced to this drink at a bar in Seattle, Washington, as opposed to all the other Seattles out there, which is actually now quarantine central. They're kind of the 0 point, where it all ground zero for quarantine in the United States. But anyway, I had this cocktail maybe 10 years ago. My wife and I were living in Seattle, went to a bar. I can't remember if it was Oliver's or if it was Suite 410, because they're right across the street from each other, and the same bartender who introduced us to this drink worked at both places at different times. But it's a great drink. It's citrusy, it's bitter, it's got a little bit of gin. I think you're gonna like it. It's the perfect way to end this week, kind of on an up note. It's zesty, it'll help reinvigorate you. And that vitamin C in the lemon will help your immune system so you can fight off coronavirus. Okay, let's get making, shall we? All right, I need some ice first. I do have my glass already chilling, so I came prepared. Hopefully you did too. If you are making this drink along with me, you need gin, Campari, Cointreau, and a lemon. I can't do that one, it's a 4. So those 4 things. We're gonna be squeezing the lemon to get the juice out of it. So hopefully you have either a citrus press or really strong forearms. You'll also need some ice and a mixing tin, either a shaking version or a stirring version. You can do either. I'm not gonna hold it against you. Ice. All right. Next, let's squeeze our lemons. So I actually love this drink. I love it because it's got like a little bit of sweetness from the Campari, and the citrus from the lemon is just, it's a nice pair to each other, and it all balances out well with a little bit of extra sweetness from the Cointreau. I think you'll like it. Okay, and it's also a great use when you have when you've been using your lemon peels for Vespers and you're all out of zest, and it's a great use of lemons for that. Okay. I'm actually probably only gonna need 1. All right, let's cut this bad boy right in half. And I'm actually going to double strain the lemon juice, just because I want all the pulp out of there, so that when I do measure it, I get exactly the amount of liquid and it's not taking up extra space from the pulp. And I just like it when my drinks are a little bit clearer, they don't have all that pulp in there. If you are pro pulp, go for it. I don't even know. Single glass though. Real, good question. The director actually already has a cocktail, so we are all good director is busy directing and sipping that cocktail, I'm making a jasmine just for myself. So, although if we do hear a pound, 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 or if she gets active in the comments, I will know to immediately drop everything else that I'm doing to make another one. Okay. Boop. Perfect. Now let's get to mixing. Gin. Campari, Cointreau. Sorry, I don't know if you can see everything over here, but I think you can, so that'll be all right. Yeah, Saffrica, right? It's when you zest them all, like you start to get these little, they're like zebra striped lemons. So, okay, for one drink, we're going to be using 1.5 ounces of gin. Oh, before I add the next two ingredients, just know that I like this drink really bitter and really citrusy. So if you don't like it as bitter or as citrusy, just lower the amounts of Campari and lemon juice that you use. I'm gonna be using 1 ounce each. You can feel free to drop in 3/4 ounce if you want. I wouldn't go less than that. I think the original ratios of the drink were like 1.5 gin and then like 1/2 or 1/4 of Campari and lemon, but I totally switched it around, and or maybe it was Craig, the bartender I mentioned earlier, who switched it around, and I really like it this way. So that's what we're doing. So 1 ounce of Campari. And 1 ounce of lemon juice. Again, if you don't like it as acidic, you can back off on the lemon juice. I would still probably do equal amounts of lemon and Campari just because one's kind of sweet, the other's kind of bitter. Or I'm sorry, one's sweet, one's citrusy, so they kind of balance each other out there. Okay, and about 1/2 ounce of Cointreau. Boom, perfect. If you want to stir yours, you can. I'm gonna shake, and just like last time, I'm gonna drop the volume down just a little bit so it doesn't blow out your speakers. All right. That's pretty good. Okay. I don't need as much dilution in this one, just because it's pretty good. Okay. And let's pour this bad boy. Got your Hawthorne strainer, different from the julep strainer for mixing, like glass mixing tins. This one has the spring in it. Good for holding back a lot of the ice. And I'm actually gonna double strain this one as well, just so I don't get big ice shards in there. If you don't have one of these, or if you don't care about ice shards, then just pour it all in. You're fine. Look at that, nice pink drink for a nice pink shirt guy. All right, I'm actually gonna take a quick sip and then pour the rest in. Oh, man. Oh, I haven't had a jasmine in months. Oh man, I missed that. Oh, this is my sister-in-law's favorite drink. She and my wife both love these, and they drink them, a responsible amount. Okay. All good there. Into the sink we go. I'm gonna actually use this later, so I rinse that out, set that aside. Let's make way for the main event. Hey, what's up, Robin? You made it today. Good to see you. All right, I'm gonna rinse this off, put all the stuff away. We should be good to go in just a sec. Good. All right. It got bigger all of a sudden. Oh, I forgot this garnish. What am I doing? Anthony. Okay. I'm all discombobulated. This whole quarantine thing, it's getting rough. It's no change from my regular day, but Just now knowing that I can't really go outside or that I shouldn't makes it harder. Boom. Lemon peel, or lemon zest as the garnish here. It's already pretty lemony, but man, the essential oils or whatever in the lemon zest is totally different from the lemon juice, and it's so good. It like really brightens it up. Oh, I love it. Ricardo, good to see you. Oh man, that's great. We might have a couple of these. They go down pretty fast because I have no self-control. Okay, good. Let's get clean here. I'm done with this. Done with the lemon for now. We might bring him back a little bit later because our dish today is, drum roll please, it's fish. We're doing fish and chips, in quotes. It's not real fish and chips like the proper British English style. It is going to be fish with chips, and the chips that we're talking about are going to be Lay's. You can use Ruffles if you're a Ridges guy or gal, but that's what we're doing today. Yeah, so here's the deal. I wanted to do a steak night tonight, but I couldn't find a steak that I liked, and just due to supply. Plus, I wanted to do it ahead of time. I wanted to get the steak one day ahead of time so I could salt it, let it wet dry in the fridge for 24 hours so that I could get a really good sear on it, and I couldn't find one in time to do that. So I had to settle for fish. Now, I have a little bit of a peeve going on here with the grocery store across the street. I know times are tough. I asked them what's the freshest fish they had. They pointed to the gray sole. They said it just came in today. I was like, great, I'll take 2 fillets. Got them home and they smell just a tiny bit fishy. I'm pretty sure it was just in the wrapper, so maybe it was on the fishmonger's gloves or something, because I took the wrapper, threw it all away, all good, but it's left me with a bad, taste in my mouth just earlier this afternoon. I rinsed them off, patted them dry, and I think they should be good to go. You guys have heard my soapbox about fish should never smell on this show before, but I'm just getting at it again because I needed to get that off my chest. Okay, thanks coronavirus. So we're doing fish and chips. We're gonna do it a little bit differently. We're not gonna bread it. We're going to, well, we are gonna kind of bread it. We're gonna chip it. So we're gonna use Lay's as the breading on the fish. So it's fish and chips all in one thing, not fish and then chips. The other thing is we're not gonna be deep frying this bad boy. We're gonna be pan frying it or pan searing it because it's just easier. I don't wanna deep fry anything right now, and it's just kind of nice. We're gonna be basting it in brown butter. You know what, it's enough talk about it. Let's get to prepping, right? So for mise en place, I need to get some parsley ready because that is gonna go in the final dish. Cut off the big parts of the stems. Got you. We don't need a ton, maybe a handful. Give it a rough chop just so it's easier to stack. And then I like compressing it down as much as I can. There we go, just kind of a rough chop. We don't need this super fine. We don't want giant pieces sticking in people's teeth. Lemon, good to see you, bud. Happy you're here, both of you, lemons. Woo! We just made a drink with lemons. I don't know if you saw. You can do the quick replay or whatever maybe, but we're making jasmines, 1.5 ounces of gin, 1 ounce each of Campari lemon juice, and then a 1/2 ounce of Cointreau. So anyway, make them if you got them. If not, pour whatever you want. Oh, you're more of a beer guy anyway. That's fine too. Okay. So good to go with the parsley. Again, we don't need that much. This is for 2 people, so I don't know, a small handful. We're not doing super strict measurements on this one today. Back in the fridge you go. What is next? Oh, let's get our dredging station set up. Actually, you know what? Let me get the, these are capers. If you are not familiar with these, you should be. They're like little bites of acid. They're perfect. They're like little kind of berries, but they're super good. They're usually pickled like this or brined, and they add a nice acidity to a dish and a nice little kind of plump bite. So that's what we're gonna be using in this dish today, but I just need to drain them. So I'm not gonna use all these. We're gonna use most of them. How about that? I'm just gonna open the lid and pour some of the stuff out. If you've got this strainer, oh, you know what, I do have a strainer. Yeah, you know what, let's be fancy about it. We're just gonna go old school. Perfect. Okay. Good, let's rinse that off. DTL made it. What's up, Mom? Good to see you. Okay, we got a parsley done. Capers are good. I think that's it. Almost, oh, let's get some butter out. That'd be good. Perfect. Okay, now I'm gonna rinse this off. We'll get our dredging station set up and then we'll get cooking. This would be another great time to switch to commercial break, but we're not. It's getting a little tougher out there to get groceries. I don't know if you guys are feeling the pinch, but now that we're told like, hey, you shouldn't leave the house almost at all, I feel bad actually going to the grocery store. So I'm getting all of them now delivered twice a week. So if I don't have like really cool, not that any of them were, but if I don't have a whole bunch of really cool recipes lined up, we're gonna be working with what we've got. So, which I actually probably, you're gonna be in the same situation. So we'll figure it out together. All right, done there. Let's get a pan. Oh, let's get the dredging station ready. Good, Mom. I'm glad you're ready for Friday fish. Me too. I never know how many eggs to use for an egg wash, but I don't want to be caught without any wash left as I'm getting ready to dredge the fish. You probably only need one large egg for this, but I did two just in case. And I have extra eggs in there that I needed to use up. Okay. Fish and Lay's, yes. Not sponsored. Not yet. Dear Lay's. Oh, I got, that's fine. Just beat it real fast. Ricardo is asking, Mr. Pink Shirt Guy, how do I pass the time these days? Well, I got a couple projects I'm working on. One of them is this. I want to make sure that I get a recipe out to you guys, or at least get the ingredients out every morning. If I can, I'll try to do it in advance. So this is one big project. I'm doing a website redesign right now on my own website. So I'm looking to relaunch that hopefully this weekend. I've got a lot of work on that needs to be done. So that don't hold me to that. My current website is great. I love it. I mean, if I do say so myself, there's a lot of pictures of me on it, but I'm doing a new one, kind of leaning into the Pink Shirt Guy side of things, since that's a brand that at least a few people recognize. Plus, it gives me a better opportunity to give you recipes and these kind of shows and stuff if I have cohesive branding. And then, I'm working on setting up like a Patreon account. I think somebody suggested it here. Yeah, I'm setting up a Patreon thing. So I've got it set up, but it's not like fully baked yet. You're more than welcome to check it out if you're not familiar with it. It's this thing where basically creators and patrons or consumers of the creations can get together, and basically I produce things and you pay me money. It's like you can pay $1 a month or whatever. I don't know what the tiers are, but that's basically it. So you're buying access to like creative things. There's a whole bunch of like music artists there's writers, comedians, stuff like that. So I thought I'd give that a shot, especially based on the suggestion here. So, okay, yeah, Ricardo, working on it. Technically it's set up. If you look me up, I'm there. And I do have a couple of early access tiers in there too, limited to like 20 people a piece, just to reward people who want to jump on early and get going. So, okay. Plus, the Patreon thing will allow me to like produce better content and more content. Just because this is fun, but I'd love to do it even better. Okay, and that ends our daily announcement for Patreon. Okay, got that. Oh, dredging station, that's what I was working on. So if you've never dredged before, it's pretty simple. You have whatever meat you're using, a little bit of flour to create kind of a stickiness on the skin, dredge it in egg wash, and then in whatever you're going to be topping it with. So in this case, it's going to be Lay's potato chips. So that's it. Flour, egg, topping. You can use, if you don't have Lay's or potato chips today, you can use panko or breadcrumbs even. Use whatever you got. I know it's tough to come by, or stuff can be hard to find. Oh, really? It's your job. Well, great. Okay. Glad you know how it works, Robin. Okay. We don't need that much, but it's just easier when there's a little bit more in there. All right. Good there. Got our egg wash. So we'll do flour, egg, and then Lay's. Oh. All right, so we're gonna be making our own, chips or, topping, breading, whatever. It's Friday, I don't know. If you wanted to, you could be an animal and just crunch up this whole box or whole bag, but we're gonna use a respectable amount just in case somebody, my wife, wants to have the rest of them. That's pretty good. That's about half the bag. Don't tell her. Get as much air out as possible. We could even leave a little. All right, let's do that. Rolling pin. There we go. Almost there. This is a good way to get your rage out if you're stuck in quarantine and you're frustrated and you feel a little stressed out. Feel free to bang away. But me, being the Zen master I am, I'm always calm, I'm just gonna roll gently. Perfect. Okay. Into the bowl we go. Oh God, that looks so good. I could have some of those right now. Adios, baggie. Okay. That is, I hope that's gonna be small enough. We'll find out. Oh, if you've got a food processor too, that's fine. You can throw them in there and buzz them around a few times until they're nice and fine. Yes. Hi. Okay, let's get a sip of this before we get going. I kind of like to be clean and tidy, so you could have a pan here ready with butter or oil and melt that down and dredge it and then right at the pan. I'm going to set them up here just for a few minutes because then that allows me to kind of stay sane and then I don't have this all here while I'm frying. Hope you're cool with that. And if not, I don't care. Fresh today. Maybe it was fresh to you. All right, so they smell just a tiny bit. It's okay. We're only gonna be frying this for a few minutes. I'm not too upset, especially given everything that's going on. But, man, fish should not smell fishy. If your fish is a little bit thicker, because this is pretty thin, this is gray sole. If yours is thicker, you're just gonna need to add maybe a minute or two to the cooking time. It's okay if you undercook it just a tiny bit because then you can let it rest. Maybe even warm up your oven now and you could bake it for like 2 to 3, 4 minutes maybe just to finish it off. That's okay too. This is pretty thin, so I might only need like 3 to 4 minutes of cook time on this. We'll find out. If you go a little bit overcooked, that's okay too. It's gonna be pretty forgiving depending on the fish. So, let's get a little flour going here. Yeah, I know. I should hide that rolling pin. I could be taking one over the head here pretty soon. How many chips did you take? That's an exact impression of my wife, in case anybody's really hear it. No. She's delightful, nothing like that. Right? Did I get the delightful? Nothing? Okay, yeah, I got it right. Okay, into the egg, and then just crush it around in the potato chips. Get all up in there. The more chips, the better. This is gonna be what's gonna brown. It's gonna give it some flavoring. Yes, perfect. That's pretty good. So you can do it smaller, you can do it larger. These are kind of large chunks, but it's fine. They're gonna be all right. It's hard times with coronavirus. You can't get the exact size of breadcrumb from a bag of Lay's potato chips that you want. Boy, oh boy. Did anybody else make the cocktail with me? How was it? What do you think? You like it? Hate it? Don't tell me. Tell me if you like it. Okay, good as a flour. The whole point here, again, is just to create like a dry surface that the egg can then stick to. Because it's kind of, if it gets on the fish itself, that's a little slimy and then it just slides right off. And then you don't end up with much of a bread. Perfect. Okay, yeah, we use way too many chips, but that's okay. This is a learning experience for everyone. And we get to learn together, you know? Okay. Perfect. Done. Don't mind me, just washing up. Making sure I'm not spreading that corona, you know? It's everywhere, it'll get you. I think you got a few of our viewers. We had yeah, lemon, right? The more chips, the better. Scotch totally counts. In case somebody asked if Scotch counted. Yeah, absolutely it does. 100%. Drink what you got. It could even be non-alcoholic. I won't hold that against you, you know? If you want to dry out or whatever. Okay, good. We're done with this stuff, so I'm just gonna move it all right back here. If that gets distracting, then your life is going pretty well right now, if that's the biggest issue you have. So that's great. Okay, I am gonna use a big pan. Well, it's the biggest I've got. All right, you can see good, see well, you know. All right, let's get some butter going here. Let's get this thing warmed up. Start cooking. All right. So we're gonna start over medium-high heat just to kind of melt the butter. And then when we put the fish in, we'll drop it down to medium. We can start basting. Get your spoon ready. So pan, if you're with me here. Pan, butter, spoon, fish. And then at the ready, you should have your parsley and capers. Cool? With me so far? You know what? I'm actually gonna put these, just because I don't think I drained. Oh, I did a pretty good job. I'm gonna get these out. Get them out of there. Just liberate them from that so they're ready to go. And I like a lot of capers. You can use however many you want. You can taste it beforehand if you're not familiar with them. They're, again, they're like little miniature pickles. Not quite as crunchy, but, you know, yeah, little miniature pickles. Pickle berries. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm saying. It's Friday. More chips, the better. I totally agree. Okay. I'm gonna use about 4 tablespoons of butter. This isn't all going onto the final dish, but you want enough so that you can baste your fish with this. Give it a little swirl so we don't start browning too early. This will be our plating plate. I'm gonna get that ready. Right there in the center. Marcellus, we are making fish and chips. So I've got gray sole, kind of a flat fish, but use whatever kind of fish you have. This is better, I think, with like whiter fish. So like a fluke or like a sole would be good. Cod would be great. If you're using cod, it's a little bit thicker. So make sure to just add maybe 2 minutes total to the cooking time. Let's start putting it in. Again, we're over medium-high just to melt. And then we'll drop it down to medium here in just a sec. Oh yeah, and these are coated with Lay's potato chips. So again, we're kind of going, it's, you know, a little bit healthy, but it's also kind of comfort food. You know, it's, people are going stir crazy. Let's at least eat stuff we like. We'll all be 20 pounds heavier at the end of this thing. Whenever that is. That's right. Alla la donne. So I'm going to turn it up just a little bit, back to medium-high, just so we get a little bit of action going on. I don't want these things just sitting there the entire time. I want them to crisp up a little bit. That'll be fine. They'll be good. Yeah, what else are we doing here what do you guys do to keep busy? Keep your minds occupied. Oh, in case anybody's interested, maybe I'll post it later. If anybody's having like trouble relaxing or something, I use this app called Brain FM. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but it's basically like you put on headphones, you tune into Brain FM, and it helps you like focus. And I swear, I don't know if it's placebo or what, but whenever I turn that on and I start working on a project or start writing or something, I'm like within 10 minutes, I'm like in the zone. And I'll post a link somewhere, like either here or on my Twitter or Instagram or something. But they're giving away a free month, and I don't even know if it's a referral link. It could be, so I might get something out of it too. But they're giving away a whole month of it, and if you like it, I'll put it up there. That's all you need to know. I recommend it. They have like 3 settings too. Like one is to help you focus or study. I think one is like to help you relax, and they have even guided meditation things. And then they also have one to help you go to sleep. My wife and I did that one the other night, and I was like, this isn't gonna work. And she turned it on, and I was like, there's no way. And then 5 minutes later, I was out. So it worked. Okay, so we're over medium high. I can start to smell the butter getting a little bit nutty. That's good. I do want to start basting my fish though, because I kind of don't want to turn this over, mostly because I'm lazy and because it's kind of a delicate-ish fish and I don't want to make a big mess. So I don't know if you can see the baste. Is that good? Can you see that? Yeah, that's not bad. Well, that's good. Oh, and Marcellus, I didn't tell you, the drinks, this is a jasmine. So a jasmine is gin, Campari, lemon juice, and Cointreau. It's nice, light, zesty, a little bit bitter, a little bit sweet, but it's a great cocktail for, it's nice and light. Good. I actually might add a little bit more butter so we can get more in the baste. There we go. If you do smell your butter, like if it's getting a little bit too nutty, you just don't want it to burn. So if you're afraid of it going too far, just turn down the heat. Like you can turn it to medium-low, kind of let it hang out for a minute and cook internally, and then you can get back to the heat. Because it'll go from nutty to like burnt, relatively quick. You can kind of see, I don't know if you can see like the brown bits around the side. That's good. That's great flavor. It's starting to smell super nutty. I'll try to say nutty 1 or 2 more times. How long have we been cooking this? Alexa, set a 2-minute alarm. 2-minute timer.
4 minutes, starting now.
Now, Alexa, cancel.
Canceling the timer.
Yeah. Alexa, set a 1.5-minute timer.
1 minute and 30 seconds, starting now.
So, Safrika, good question. What does basting actually do? So basting is going to help cook it from both sides, right? We've got this really hot butter in there. You can use oil too if you wanted to. I like the butter because we're going to be transferring some of it to our final dish. But it helps cook it. It helps cook it a little bit. So like I've got the heat from the pan, obviously cooking it from the bottom, but then I got this hot oil going on top, and that provides some heat to cook the top. So we're going to end up serving this browned side up because that'll just look prettier. But that's what basting does. So you can do this with steaks too, if you're pan roasting steaks or pan frying or pan searing steaks. I do that all the time. It's just a nice way to kind of cook it a little bit more evenly. That way you also don't have to keep flipping it. Almost there. Also, if you're not sure if your fish is going to be done, you can designate one of them to be your piece and then like break off a little chunk just to test. So I do that a lot if I'm not quite sure. I think we're almost there. Yes. Oh, makes sense now. Everything does. The whole world makes sense now. So like I'll designate this piece here to be mine and we'll just break off a little chunk. And I kind of picked it from the heaviest or the largest side. Alexa, stop. So we'll see if this is, it looks pretty good. Hot. Looks pretty good. I forgot to add more salt. So this is the other thing too. I didn't want to salt it too much because I didn't know how salty the lays were going to be. It does need a pinch of salt. So I might just wait till the end to use some finishing salt because it won't need that much. Yeah, we're going into OT. Okay. I think we're just about done. Oh, here's the deal. Let's throw some capers in. That'll help slow the cooking down to a stop. Let's get some parsley in there. I'm going to save some of it though because I want to finish with, what am I trying to say? This will help wilt some of the parsley. You'll notice it'll turn bright green as it just kind of cooks a tiny bit. And then, oh man, those capers smell great. And then we'll finish with some fresh parsley too. Just about done. You know what? I may actually not even turn these over since this is actually looking pretty good. And let's see if that's gonna see how brown that side is. So it's not that brown. The lays might have some moisture in them or some oil or something preventing them from browning too much, which is okay because they're still kind of brown to begin with. We'll just go with it. We'll kind of cook right. So this is all clad, this pan itself, but I do have a pair of Zwilling pans. They make knives, but Zwilling started making pans, and I love those things. They're non-stick, and like the gimmick is that the non-stick is like baked in, so you can't scratch it or something. Whatever the deal is, I love them, and they're pretty cheap. It was like I think $100 for 2 pans, and they'll last me years. And those are quickly becoming my favorite. Other than that, I have this. I've got a couple like hand-me-down pans, like a small copper saucepan I like from Falk, and then the other one I don't know if it even has a name, and then a Le Creuset Dutch oven. That's it. And I really use the Dutch oven a lot, and then I use the Zwilling pans. That's about it. Okay, we're gonna call this good. I'm actually not gonna flip it over because when I kind of tested it out, I noticed the bottom was a little bit like it didn't crisp up into a tight crisp, you know, like a fish and chip would. It was a little bit delicate, so I don't want to break that, but that'll be okay. We've got enough pretty stuff on this side to present in the final dish. So let's slide this on here. See, some of it just slid off. That's all right though. Oh, it was right on the lip. That's why the lip was pulling it. Okay, let's make sure we get all this good brown stuff. So another thing we could do, I think I have some actually. Why not? I'll show you how to deglaze this pan. So this brown bits, the brown butter and stuff, super tasty. And we can use just a little bit of white wine. Just a little splash on that to help scrape it up. So number one, it makes the pan a whole lot easier to clean. But then number two, we'll have a little bit extra flavor to go on top of this. I'm just using a dry white wine. This is agave. You could use, it doesn't really matter, I think, for the most part. I mean, it might, like if you use a really, don't use sweet wines, you should be, don't use a sweet wine. That would be, I think that'd be pretty bad. So most of this is coming right up. And there we go. I like to swirl it around just to get all the little brown stuff. And then we're just gonna reduce down until it's all the way, almost all the way dry. Oh, the other thing too is if we didn't already have a whole bunch of butter in there, we at the end of this process, we could turn off the heat, add a little bit of butter, swirl it around, and that's a pan sauce. But since we've already got enough in there, I'm gonna call it. We don't need more. I think it'll be okay. Just cooking off the last little bits. That one's I'll have to clean that one out, but that'll be all right. Yeah, almost done. Get a quick sip of this. Okay. It's not quite dry, but it's almost there. And I don't want it like, you know, totally dry. Good. Maybe one last little spoonful there. You can do this with steaks, you can do it with chicken, whatever you're pan cooking, you can do a pan sauce. Plus it'll just help clean your pan out, make it a lot easier. Okay, I think we're good to go. Let's take a bite out of this bad boy. I think gray soles, I've never cooked gray sole before. It seems pretty forgiving because I think we were cooking for like 10 minutes. Way too long. But this feels like it already feels pretty moist. Let's see. It looks moist. I know, my dog is already looking at me for her sample. Mmm. Oh, that's pretty good. The Lay's actually did crisp up enough, so we got a nice little crunch there. We have some tanginess from the capers. Love it. And that brown butter flavor actually goes pretty well with the Lay's. I'm kind of surprised. And the fish is good. Not overcooked, not undercooked. It's just right. It probably does need a pinch of salt. Maybe I'll get a bite with a caper. How about that? Because those kind of have a salty brininess to them too. Mm. That'll work. What do you think? You want to try some? Looks pretty good, right? You want to say hi to those people? Yeah, they're all excited to see you. Good girl. Okay, this is Bailey. She's really excited to have her fish. The other one's for me, and one's for her. So, get going. All right, say goodbye. All right. Clean up and get eaten. I might have one more sample bite just to make sure it's all good. Just pink polo. What do you mean? This is a pink polo. This is a shirt. This is a regular shirt. What do you mean it doesn't count? You don't count. Oh, they all say hello, Bales. Oh, she's asking for a piece. So hold on. Let me just give her a sample piece. She's really excited. She loves fish. There you go. It's hot. Yeah, I told you. Well, don't blame me for your burnt tongue. God. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining. If you like this video, hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. If you didn't like the video, hit the like button 3 times. If you have any questions, drop me an email. Sign up for my newsletter on my website. Let me know what's going on. If you have questions, requests, dude, I'm just as bored as you are at times. So, you know, I'm looking for ways to make this thing better and recipes to keep your day going well, or at least give you an idea to cook. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm gonna have another one of these and probably just eat and go to bed. Whew. Thanks so much for joining me. Really, it was a pleasure eating and drinking and cooking with you today. We'll see you again on Monday. There will not be a show, excuse me, there will not be a show tomorrow or Sunday. We are taking the weekend off and hopefully not going too stir crazy. So we'll see you again Monday, 5 p.m. Eastern. All right, thanks guys. Take care, have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you on the other side. Yeah, John, 3 times on the like button. If you didn't like the video. All right, bye guys.